We are starting a new segment here on The Potluck. We want to talk to some of our sister stations across the country because we do have a lot of opportunity with our parent company to kind of interact with a lot of different people. And so we are going to start with our inaugural episode, checking out Portland, and we are going to visit with KPTV's Greg Nibler. And Greg, you're basically me down down in Portland, right? You are a streaming anchor. This is what you do.
That's correct. Yeah, it sounds like the counterpart here in Portland. So live streaming here, we've got a few different shows that we do, and we do about anywhere between 4 to 5 hours, 6 hours, sometimes a day of live streaming. But for my part, there's Good Day Oregon Plus, and then Fox 12 Now. So yeah, the counterpart to Alaska there.
Wow, that is just kind of amazing. Okay, so I just want to ask you a few questions. There are obviously no right or wrong answers. These are things that you think of. First, how long have you lived in Portland?
A long time. Probably 20 years.
Okay, so you know it well.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, what food would you say that Portland is best known for?
That is a hard one to quantify. I would say it's more the diversity of food that we have here, because that's one thing that Portland's been recognized nationally quite a bit. We have, obviously a lot of food carts that are it, but we've got a lot of like James Beard award-winning restaurants and things. So I would say it depends on what you're into, which that may seem like a cop-out answer, but I don't know if there's any one dish that I can think of that Portland would be known for. It's more just, we have a variety. So it kind of depends on what you're into.
Just kind of a foodie city, I believe.
Yes, it has been called that.
One of the things I do think of, I have a family that lives just outside of Portland in Camas, Washington, and so we visit a lot. And you're right, it's food trucks and Voodoo Donuts. Those are the two things I think of when I think of Portland, food-wise.
Yes, that one definitely. Voodoo gets a lot of press for people visiting the city. I don't know if there's a lot of people who live here that go to it that often, but certainly it's definitely one of the most famous things from Portland.
Now, when you're getting out and about, maybe you're going on a hike, what is the most dangerous animal that you're worried about running into when you go on a hike?
People? No, I would say as far as the most dangerous animal, I mean, it's nothing like Alaska. We're not going to have anything. We're not too worried about brown bears coming across those. I would say, gosh, I don't know. Yeah, mountain lion. Mountain lion may be the most dangerous thing that you would encounter. Maybe a really mad black bear. But mountain lion's probably it, although it's so rare to see them. You're probably okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because as you said, we hike with bells on. We're constantly worried about running into a bear. Do you guys have poisonous snakes and spiders?
So I've actually done some segments on that. Snakes, no, not really. Well, not right around Portland anyway. There are rattlesnakes if you get into Central Oregon. Spiders, there are some black widows. That's probably the most dangerous, but even those aren't really around here too much. If you get further away from Portland, we've got a lot of terrain here in Oregon. Central Oregon, you may have a little bit more of that. I don't even know if there's any brown recluse technically. There's some hobo spiders, things like that, but not a whole lot to worry about.
I like that, because that's one of the things I like about living in Alaska is we don't have those things. What do you see as a misconception about Portland? What do people say and you go, oh, no, no, no?
That there are riots 365 days a week and that the city burned to the ground in 2020. That's probably a big misconception. That's not the case. It's largely, it's a pretty relaxed city, I think, as far as if you're going out and about, people are generally friendly, and it's not as wild and crazy as I think some people may think it is.
What do you think that people in Portland, what are they proud of? What do they like to share about their city?
I think again, it depends on what you're into, but there's the food scene aspect. But I think the fact that we're so close to the outdoors, I mean, much like Anchorage, but we're, an hour away from the coast, an hour away from the Cascade Mountains, from Mount Hood. and you have so many opportunities to get outside. And I think that's certainly something that I think a lot of people take pride in, is that environmental aspect of incorporating that into the city, and lots of bike lanes and all of that stuff.
Well, that was one of my questions. Do you need a car in Portland, or is there public transport, bikeable? What's the thought there?
Public transit is really good here if you're at least within the core of the city. We've got TriMet, which is Max trains. So we have our light rail trains. We've got a really good bus system. Biking is really easy. There's a lot of bike lanes around. So I would definitely say if you're within the city, it's certainly easy. If you want to get out of the city, or you're working in suburbs or something like that, a car is a lot better way to get around, but there certainly is a lot of public transit.
And this is, we're getting closer and closer to spring. We've still got a lot of snow up here. Kind of at what temperature do people start pulling out the shorts and getting out and about in their shorts?
Here, I would say if you get into the 60s, you're definitely going to start to see some.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's warm enough. It's warm enough for me.
We're desperate at that point. We're kind of the same way up here.
Exactly.
Okay, I got a question for you. It sounds like you know a fair bit about Alaska, but when you think of Alaska, what is the first thing you think of?
So I've actually been to Anchorage quite a few times. I've had some friends that live up there. I love it. I would say one of the first things I think of is how tall your mountains are. It feels like we're mountainous here. It is nothing compared to what you have there. So I think that's probably one of the first things I think of. And just like getting out. I mean, Anchorage is fun. Darwin's theory, I do think about that. Spent some time there, but yeah, getting out into the wilderness of Alaska, that's one of the first things I think about.
Very good. So what is your favorite thing about living in Portland? That'll be my final question.
I think it's going back to that aspect of the outdoors part, or just there's a lot of opportunity for whatever you're into. And I think that's probably really what it is. During the summer, you can go about anywhere you want, get any kind of terrain you want, and just get outdoors.
Yeah, as I said, I have relatives. I tend to get there and try and visit the coast. I do love to get to the coast. And Multnomah Falls, am I saying that right?
Yes. You're saying correct. That's it. Yeah.
And yeah, so really, really fun. Well, Greg Nibler, thank you very much. KPTV streaming anchor. He's the counterpart to me down there. And I really appreciate you stepping in and just giving us a little bit of taste of what Portland's like.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully I represented well.
I think you did. Thank you.